Indie 5 time here at Rauta. This is sort of a Godz of War special, if you will, because most of the albums is in this episode are released by Godz of War. Not all, but most. So without further ado, let's start with this Polish band's, Polish labels, Polish band releases. First one in question is Warfist, band that started around 2004. They made their first album 2014, and now it's time for the third album called Grünberger. To be honest, I don't know what that means. Never bothered to check out, but there's relation to the first album, which had also this Grünberg mentioned. Here's the CD inlay. The devil takes your hand. The devil lives in Grünberg, I think was the first name of their debut album, the name of their debut album, that is. And here is the two-man band lineup with the track listing, a cover picture with skulls and a creature among them, and then some recording information. For some reason, this band is being labeled, at least in Metal Archives, sort of a black trash band, but to be honest, when listening to this album, I didn't find any black metal in it. More like death trash hybrid, more focused on the thrash metal, I guess, with their riffs, and kind of a, general feeling is more trashy. And as such, it's basically doing quite okay job. But the thing here is, there are certain death metal elements with the music, kind of crawling vocals, and maybe some of the riffs, some of the production kinda is creating this death metal vibe. So it's not pure thrash metal, even I would say this is more thrash than death metal, not to mention black metal. But what Warfist is lacking are the really good riffs and kind of a killer songs, which are just absent with this album. Basically, everything is right there. There are no really weak tracks as such, and it's like, this is really easy to just listen to. Like, for the very first track, Black Army Strikes, Black Army being the title, it's easy just Black Army Strikes. It's kind of a strong and blah, blah, blah. But once you're like past the track, you're already forgotten what made it kind of a listenable. It's like this band is just, missing the final impact, like boom, wow, no, there's a riff or there's a really good chorus part. It's like, these are pretty solid recordings, but once you're done with a couple of times, for example, nothing really stuck in my mind. After a few spins, basically this Black Army Strikes is the only one that kind of rings in my head, but not in a way that, those big names have their big chorus parts. I mean, this is not a Rain in Blood, or I don't know, Ride the Lightning, kind of a decent, but still kind of a, how to say it, midway through it all. So not a bad album, but not really good either. But for death thrash fanatics, maybe, just maybe, we're checking out. We'll keep staying in Poland. This one is called Gruzja. I don't know how to pronounce it. Not even trying to. Here is some information, obviously all in Polish. And then we have this 28 minutes CD inlay. Obviously we have the CD too, which is the guy with a hole. Now this makes more sense, I guess, if I just show it to you this way. And what we have here is also the track list, as you can see, all Polish. So what to tell? Oh, sorry, now I'm messing up the covers. This is the actual, sorry, because it seems like I put these CDs in the wrong jewel case when taking pictures. Well, anyhow, Gruzja's music is kind of an interesting combo of Dark Throne-ish mid-tempo black metal, and then some weirder elements like the outro track, which is kind of a, I don't know, industrial, techno, whatever, instrumental song. Really weird song that really doesn't feel like it has a part on this album. And as such, this is kind of a weird album, because some of the tracks and parts are really strong. I mean, they are really just good stuff. And at some points I'm like, whoa, this album, I wish it was all the way through like this. But some parts are like, well, this is just kind of like a really boring part and all that stuff. And as such, kind of a hard album to like fully. It's decent, definitely, because there are good parts and something like that are mediocre-ish. So overall feeling is like, yes, totally listenable, to some points enjoyable, and some parts are just, kind of a filler material. But Gruzja is worth checking out if you are in the Dark Throne, I think. Um, for others, I'm not sure. Let's keep staying in Poland. This is also a Polish band called Popiól, I don't know how to pronounce it, with an album called Zabobony. Really hard for me to say this because I have absolutely no idea about the pronunciation. It's not like I get these instructions to how to go. Here's the upside down triangle of sorts, and then we have the cover. Once again here, this way, yes, let's keep messing around with this video. As you can see, lyrics also in Polish. And this is more on the atmospheric side of black metal. Think of Gruzja, the Ukrainian band. Very atmospheric, some parts more melancholic, melodies, kind of weak, distant vocals and all that stuff. And that's what you get with Popiól. Talking about Gruzja, they had or have more, stronger and weaker albums, but overall it's kind of like respected and rather good a band. Now with this case, it seems like these are just leftovers from that band, and the outcome is very mediocre. I wouldn't say this is a bad album, but given that this is like 58 minutes, and every track just feels way too lengthy. They're like, oh man, I'm just bored halfway through. Production is kind of well, it's not weak, but it's not strong either. It's just kind of tolerable. Vocals pretty much the same. No intensity, no strength, no anger, no violence, no desperation, no inhuman things. It's just like, okay, just some copy-paste distant vocals. And just everything feels really mediocre with this album. It's like as if this band was like running out of passion and they wanted to do an album. Let's do it anyway. We don't have any good riffs. Let's do them anyway. We don't have really good production. Oh man, doesn't matter. We don't have good vocalists. It doesn't matter. Let's just get it going. And the outcome is like, I'm listening to this almost 60 minutes an album a few times and I'm like, please stop. Not annoying, but kind of a boring. But for Gruzja hardcore fans, I would still say give it a chance. Maybe you will find the similarities more likable than I do. What's next? More Poland, I guess. Now we'll tap into the American metal. This time it's about death metal. A band called Pig's Blood that has now gone to their second album, called A Flock Slaughtered. If you have heard the previous album, you probably know all about this kind of a revenge type of thing mixed with early ball thrower. So kind of a dark, pounding, and most of the time fast tempo death metal. So when I mention ball thrower, I don't mean albums like For Victory or Fourth Crusade, but more like the two first albums, Realm of Chaos and such. But this is kind of a violent 30 minutes of, death metal. Not much add to that. It's dark, it's sinister, it's not very catchy, it's not melodic, it's not full of twists. Very simple, fast forward, sometimes mid-tempo, but still fast forward. And that's what you get here. Kind of a one-trick pony, both in good and bad. So if you expect lots of variation, diversity, and nice guitar solos and all that stuff, you're wrong with the wrong band. And again, if you just want your boneheaded death metal the brutal way, well, I guess Pig's Blood could be your cup of tea. Not my favorite, definitely, so, but it's not like bad either. I think it's a little bit of an improvement since their first album, so maybe we'll be listening to. Last but not least, we have a heavy metal band, or heavy metal progressive band called Mother of Sin from the Netherlands. Album called 3. What an imaginative name. 12 tracks, about 51 minutes. This band is about pure heavy metal, progressive metal, you know, balancing with those two sub-genres. A little bit like Evergrey, but still not quite. Sometimes even almost power metal, metallic, but well, I would say this is more heavy and progressive metal. So everything is here, you know, from synths to kind of a typical heavy metal vocals, nice ones I might add. And well, that's what you get. 12 songs of heavy metal with not that much funny ideas. The thing here is, this is mostly too repetitive in my opinion. It's not, it's like in terms of just being, you know, heavy metal in the terms of, you know, creating riffs and composing songs and all that stuff, I would say this is kind of a mediocre. But it helps that they have a good vocalist and kind of a thick and strong production, which gives it this a little bit more impact than what it would have should it be a kind of a weaker production. But hardly, I don't find this very captivating. I mean, this is very easy to listen to, and I don't mind doing it a couple of times, but after that it kind of leaves me a little bit, you know, empty. Like, was this everything that this band had to offer? Nice to listen to, but no catchiness, no killer tracks, no heavy metal ballads, no, I don't know, nothing that, you know, the best of heavy metal bands to do. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, even if I'm talking about Iron Maiden or, I don't know, Manowar, Wasp, you know, and not to mention older heavy metal bands. But the thing is, Mother Earth Scene is like, yeah guys, I know what you're doing, but you are still missing those killer tracks, killer riffs, the stuff that makes me, you know, go bang my fist and all that stuff. Surely worth a try if you are into progressive heavy metal stuff, but just adjust your expectations to the level that you don't get disappointed. That's all from Rauta with this Indie 5. See you soon with more reviews coming your way.